Hi everyone, I am so excited because today I have Miss Jen Thoden with Your Color Style, and she actually did a color analysis on me. Now you guys know I love color, I love incorporating different prints, but it's always nice to get a chance to have someone else look at color and actually give me a color analysis so I can really know what colors work well for me. So Jen, can you tell me a little bit about your color story and about yourself and how you got started?
Oh yeah, thanks, Monica. I am so excited to be talking to you on your video because last time we chatted, we had so much fun. So this is just a nice way to come back to you. So your color style. Your color style sort of was born from a really dark place in my life, honestly. So it was 2000, like the December of 2017, 13.
Mhm.
And I remember it clearly because I had just moved out of my marriage and house of 16 years. And it was a little after Christmas. And I remember being in my townhouse for the first time alone. And the kids were at their dad's. And I really think it might have been the first time in a really long time that I just had me, myself, and I in this room, and there no motion and no need to go, 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 go. Because just a few years before that, we had suffered a loss. We lost our daughter Kelly to cancer. She was only 9.
I'm
She
so
was the big
sorry.
sister of Matt and Mindy at that time.
Oh,
And so still reeling from that, I'm in this house and I have this sort of kind of weight that's just kind of pressing on me. And it's this sense of loss. It's the best way I can describe it. And it's easy to say, well, it's a loss of, a loved one, which is absolutely true. That's just a healing process. And it's a loss of my marriage, which anybody can tell you going through divorce, it feels like a failure, even if it was your decision. It just doesn't feel good.
yeah.
You feel like you're letting everybody down. And then it was just this loss of self, because at that moment I realized that I had been living on everyone else's terms and putting everyone else first, right? And we do that as moms and as women, as wives, and as human beings. We do that. We want other people to be happy and comfortable, and for whatever the reasons are. But it's so easy to put ourselves last all the time. And I realized that that's exactly what I've been doing. And so I had this sense of like, I don't even know what to do. Like I'm so used to doing something that everyone else is doing, or getting validation for doing something. And did I do it right? And did I do it good? And, and there I was now, like the queen of my own world. Right. And it didn't feel that way.
Mm.
And so I knew that to get out of this rut, this low place, that I needed to start to do something about figuring out who I was and to get my confidence up and to feel better about myself. Because honestly, on top of everything else, I did not like who I was. I just didn't like the way I looked. I had put on weight.
Mm.
And I just, it's all those things. And talk about just that moment, that pivotal moment where, I had decided that I was going to start doing things on my terms, but I didn't even know what those terms were.
Yeah.
So I do what a lot of people do when they kind of feel that way, right? They start to look online, like, how do I look better? How do I dress? And color analysis came up, and I was so pleasantly surprised. I don't think I even knew anything about it, but I love color. I'm a fine artist. And I was like, well, this is interesting.
Oh.
And I discovered all these colors and seasons that are supposed to be flattering on me. And when I realized now in retrospect, I look back on photos of me before that time, I never wore color. Like,
Yeah.
color just simply just wasn't in my life. I don't even know why. It was all beige, and maybe it's just tired. Like having 3 kids, you just get tired, I guess. And I don't know. And so I remember I had gotten my first color fan,
Yeah.
and I was really, really excited. I mean, it's something about getting the colors that someone tells you you look good in. And I went to the store and I picked out a color. In fact, I think it was a little bit brighter than this right now, this coral pink. And what's funny is I had been so neutral for so long that the idea of wearing any color to work was like really kind of scary. It's like, people are going to say something, they're going to notice, they're going to, what is she trying to do? Like, I really had a hard time. It's not even a bold color. It's not even like I was going to go in with like a red dress or something. And, you know, but I mean, the thing is that I did, and I got all these compliments like, oh, you look so good. And, you know, you look so pretty today. Did you lose weight? Like, it was all this positive stuff. And I was like, there's something to this thing. And the thing is that we, you know, we hear all the time, well, you shouldn't dress for other people. You should just dress for yourself. But I think that sometimes you just need a little validation and a little bit of a confidence boost.
Yes, you do.
And it doesn't mean you always need that, but sometimes, especially when you're trying to get some confidence and to move yourself forward, like it's needed. And I needed that at that time of my life. And so I started to become obsessed, because that's what I do. I never do anything half-assed. I go all in, baby. And so I studied all this thing, I know,
In all the way.
all the way. So I studied all the systems, 12 seasons, 16 seasons, a couple other different types. I got certified as a personal stylist. I was like, I wasn't going to even do it for a living. I was just like, I just got to know. I got to know all these things. And what I realized, it was as I was evolving, is that this was something that I actually really wanted to do, but I wasn't exactly sure how. And, you know, I am an entrepreneur spirit. I actually had business before this one that I had sold, a whole other story. And I was like, it was now like ringing, like, this is an idea. This is an idea. And so I created a blog, and I'm embarrassed to say the name, but it was called, once upon a time, it was called Outfit Ideas for You. It's a terrible name.
Oh,
Terrible name. And I started doing seasonal color analysis for people. And what was happening was I was attracting people that did not fit into the mold of what you see on the blogs for seasonal color analysis. Like, the photos you see are usually celebrities, and they're usually people that kind of fit nice and neat in those categories. But I was getting women with gray hair, blends of gray, women with dark skin and gray hair, and they don't fit. They didn't fit, especially women of color. Like, I just feel like color analysis just left women behind in so many ways. And so I'm not exactly sure how I started to attract these women, but I was. And I realized that it was really hard on me to help them when I didn't have the color palettes that I really felt confident worked for them.
yeah.
So with my fine arts background, I was like, you know what? I'm going to pull this apart, which is what I do. I love to unpack stuff. Like, how does that work? I bet you do the same thing with your sewing. It's like, how do they make that? I'm going to do that. I can do that. Right.
Yes, dissecting everything.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I did. So I started really looking at those color palettes, and I'm starting to really understand, like, why did they say this for that person? And what I realized was, and we'll go through it here in a minute too, but like, what I realized is that I can simplify this and actually accommodate more women and their variety so much better than try to bucket them into a season that doesn't really work. It's confusing, you know? And so that's what I did. So Your Color Style just became this thing. And the one thing that I love about it is that I now get to help women that are going through some kind of change. It doesn't have to be a loss of a child. It doesn't even have to be divorce. It can just be change. It could be hair. It could be empty nest, new relationship, new job, go back to school, like all those things. And I get to help them, give them a little confidence and move them forward. And color is just as a magical vehicle that can really make you feel good. And so that's Your Color Style. That's where we are today. Now I'm talking to you. I'm so excited.
I know, and I'm excited. And Jen, that's a fabulous story. You know, I did not know of the loss of your child, so definitely my condolences. I know it's been some time, and
Thank you.
Loss of a child and then divorce. That's a lot. So
it's a lot.
Yeah, and I know a lot of women tend to pivot when they have losses of that sort. You know, it can be from a parent, it can be a job, a variety of things. And I think that that's when, as women, we tend to find our most treasured moments and time, especially for the entrepreneur spirit. And so thank you for that. So can you tell me, with the fine arts background, was it difficult to get started in doing the color analysis at all? Or was that something that you were able to just kind of slide right into?
You know, it's interesting. I felt like I was always really good at it, but I didn't know until I started to actually do it. What was more tricky than anything wasn't that I couldn't identify what I thought a good color would be for someone. I wanted, because again, entrepreneur, right? I wanted to have a model where it was all online. That's what I wanted. I wanted an online business. I didn't want to have it in-person business, because I'm all about running a business where you actually still have time and location freedom, and a quality of life. And so I knew that I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be online. And that was what was really tricky. That took a good, once I started doing my own color palettes and rebranded to Your Color Style, it took about another good 3 years to really get it down, the process down, where I could train people if they wanted to be certified and to really be fairly accurate because it's photos. And
Yeah.
so I feel very confident that I would say, I mean, 95% of the time we got it right.
Yeah.
The other 5% are usually women that either the photo is just, no matter what we can do, no matter what we do, we just simply can't get the right photo from them. It's okay. So we do the best we can with the information we have, but I always have that little bit of doubt in my mind that I hope we did that right for them. I usually know that we do because people know intuitively if you got it right.
Yeah.
Like, most of the time they're like, that feels right, that feels like me. I get a lot of people say, I now feel more like me, which
Yeah.
is, love that statement.
I love that.
And so I think we get it right most of the time, but that's really where the challenge was, is since then, you know, I've used my fun arts to like tweak the color palettes a little bit more because I can't let it go. It's like, and of course I drive people crazy because I keep changing stuff. So this year I didn't change anything. I just want to know, I didn't change anything, but I know I drive my customers crazy. I'm like, yeah, that palette's good, but this one's better.
Oh gosh. You
I'm
know,
like, come on.
I will say this. I love color. And even just hearing your story, I remember when I lived in New Hampshire, and I think I may have told you this. I thought I was doing image consulting and I was selling pashminas. And I remember people would pick them up, and I'm like, no, you need this one because this looks better on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Without even knowing, no fine arts background, but just knowing kind of like, hey, what colors look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought like I could tell what colors I thought looked good on me. And then I felt like there were colors that I'm like, no, they will not look good on me. And I just can't wait to hear what you're going to say. But how do you combat that? Have you ever had any moments where you've told someone these are the colors and they were like, no, they just can't. And then when they did try it, they were like, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah, a lot. Not, I shouldn't say a lot, but it's not unusual. Let's put it that way. And what happens, I think, is that, it usually happens when they've changed like their hair, like they've grown the gray out, for example, or they've grown the dye out, whatever they were, like maybe they were highlighting it really blonde and they were normally brown hair or something like that. And what happens is that they define themselves for so long wearing colors that they like, which is fine. But when, you know, I finally say, okay, well, you know what, if you actually let some of that more natural come back in, you're going to be more this color palette. And I have gotten resistance. Oh, I would never wear that. I would never wear that. I'm like, well, okay. And, you know, my philosophy is that you got to feel good. It doesn't really matter what I say. Like, if you're going to invest in an analysis, it's because you want an expert opinion, right? And that's, but you don't always have to agree with everything. You don't have to even love all the colors in your palette, but I do encourage them to try some stuff. I'm like, okay, you don't have to go too bold. Just let's try this color here and this color here. Post in the Facebook group, see what the group says. Because the group is kind of honest. Like, they're loving and they're supportive, but they might even go, you know, that's not so great. And that's actually only happened once where I was like, uh-oh, did we get it wrong? You know, and so, you know, and when we do that, I mean, I'm okay with being wrong, by the way. I have no ego. Like, if I got it wrong, I would totally own it. And what we have to do is we have to just get a few more photos. And I usually ask someone at that point, can you take a photo with something you know you feel good in?
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there. But ultimately it's this, the color palettes that I recommend, it's just a guideline.
Yeah.
It's your bumper when you don't have any confidence at all of like what you like to wear or what might look good. You may not have any confidence to try something new. So this is just your guideline to go, okay, try something new.
Definitely.
You have a professional telling you, so let's go for it. And then what I find is that when they do, then the floodgates open. And now they get excited because now they get to start to pick and choose things that are really a creative expression of themselves.
Yeah.
And things that they were so afraid are like no big deal now, you know, and they light up. And that's what's exciting. It's not about the color that they decide to wear. It's how they feel and how they light up. And that makes me so happy.
And I'm lighting up now because I think that that's the greatest thing when you can make a woman feel special in that way where she's
Mhm.
able to feel like, wow, not only does she love her outfit, but she knows that this color is her essence. I think that that's a great thing. um,
Totally.
so can you tell me about your process, what it all entails?
Yeah, I can do that. So, all right. So as I said, it's online. So what happens is that when someone signs up for a color analysis, they are shipped what I call the color style kit. And that is this, you think I'd have it on my hands, but that's okay. I told you not to bring it either. But anyways, it's a set of 12 cards.
Mhm.
And on those cards, there's a set of colors that represent each color type. So we've got bright and warm, soft and warm, bright and cool, and soft and cool. And they go in ranges from light, medium, and deep. So there's 12 total. And so when you get those cards, I have people, they take photos of themselves, selfies if they want, or someone can help them,
Mhm.
and they hold each card up to their face. And that gives me a point of reference. Now they also actually get an online course that comes with it. It's not to replace the analysis, but it gives them some guidelines because sometimes we don't need all 12 photos.
Yes.
Like if like I know I'm light. So
Yes.
like I only need to send like the lights and maybe some mediums in. Like
Yes.
you're deep. I
Yes.
only asked you for the deep ones.
You
Like
did.
there's
You
no point in giving me the light ones. That's
Yes.
just not going to work. And so, but anyways, they take their selfies, and I usually ask them to be outside natural light. Indoor lighting with indoors and indoor lighting can really mess up the photo. Like,
Definitely.
and so a lot of people like to send me bathroom photos, and I have to ask for new ones. And
Yes.
so outside in natural light, early morning is best, overcast is good, bright sunny days are never really good, another is shade. And so once they get that, we do pretty good with the photos. And so they send the photos to us, and then we do some color study. Now I have Patricia, who is my senior color style coach, and she does a lot of the upfront work for me now, and I approve everything. And so again, I love it because it gives a second set of eyes on the picture. So she'll colorize the lips, she'll drape them virtually, she has the cards, we look at things, we get some tricky ones, and so we go back and forth a couple times. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know, can I see this, can I see that? And so when we finally settle, then she sends an ebook to the customer, and in that ebook it shows us our process. So all the drapings and thinking through, they get their best signature colors. So the colors that go with their eyes, if they've got variations in their eyes, their best neutral, and their blushing color, which is colors that bring out the natural flush in your cheeks and lips. It's also the colors you can use for makeup.
Yeah.
So it's just the most flattering color. And like, this is probably one of mine. And so we send that to them along with their full digital color palette. And I'm trying to think what else is in there. And a digital draping of 6 best colors that we feel from the color palette we feel like you would look really great in. And so they can kind of see themselves with their lips, color eyes, and the colors and stuff like that. And we send that to them, and it's pretty cool.
Well, I'm excited. I know you did my color analysis.
I did.
Should we get started?
I can definitely do that. So I made some slides.
Okay.
It's not the full complete ebook by any means, but because I picked and choose what I wanted to actually share. So now it's interesting. I am so curious if I got this right. And the reason I'm saying that is because you took your photos outside on a fairly sunny day. And so if I got it wrong, well, that's cool too. This is a great time to actually talk about it, because there's going to be other people that are going to be like, I don't know, I know her, and that's not going to work. So I'll show you what I found, and then I'll share my screen, and then I'll come back, or we can just talk through them as I do it. Okay.
And I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can make sure I can see everything.
All right. So I'm gonna take over screen sharing here. No.
This is the first time I'm getting a chance to see this.
I know. So surprise. By the way, I was like, you're such a good photo. You're so photogenic.
Oh, thank you. I was trying to get a good shot.
All right. So you sent me 4 photos. Actually, you sent me more, just for everyone who's watching. I actually asked her to resend me some stuff. And so I labeled them so we can see. So these are just what you sent me. So we have soft and cool on the deep on the left, bright, cool, and deep on the right. And for anybody who doesn't know what this means, someone who is soft and the colors that are soft are slightly muted colors. Okay. When the colors go deep in the color palette, it's not as obvious, but overall the colors are softer, and someone who has softer features usually fits into that category better.
Yeah.
And then the brighter colors are just what they sound like. They start out pure and bright and jewel toned, and they can go darker and they can go lighter with black and white. And so you would be bright if you fit into that category. Now, based on the photos that you sent me, and I'm curious to know your opinion on this, I'm not convinced that these are the best colors for you.
Really?
Now, I love the bright on you. Like, just looking at the photos, I think we would all agree, and just knowing you, soft colors are not it. It's bright. But
Yeah.
let me show you what I discovered, and then you can tell me if I got it wrong, because it's the photo and not you. Because I'm looking at you now in your colors, and I'm looking at you on video, and you're looking very different. So,
oh yeah.
so it's okay. This is the process, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you look so golden to me in these photos.
I am golden.
Okay. I'm not crazy.
No,
Oh
you're
my
not.
gosh. I was so worried. I was like, oh no, I got this wrong and she's going to kill me. So on the left is the soft, warm, and deep colors. And on the, and on the right is bright, warm, and deep. I thought I labeled that deep. That's crazy. There we go. All right. So, I mean, I love the bright and warm colors on you. Like, as soon as I saw this, I was like, hands down, that is what you should be wearing. So I draped you and colorized your lips and everything a few different ways. So for anybody who's curious though, when I say bright and the bright colors, if you're labeled bright and you can wear those brighter colors better, this is the full bright color wheel. And if someone who is warm, you should by rule of thumb be able to wear the colors on the right side of the color wheel. And then all the colors that have this little asterisk, see those little stars? Those are universal colors. Okay. So a lot of people will say, well, I can't possibly be just warm because I can wear blue and teal and turquoise really, really well.
Yeah.
And those are cool colors, but just because you have warm undertones doesn't mean you can't wear cool colors. Yeah. You actually have a really, really robust color palette. There's just some colors that don't really flatter. Okay. And those are the ones over here. And this is why I'm cringing, because you're wearing some of these colors. But like the magentas and aren't really the most flattering on someone who has really nice golden rich undertones. So hold that thought. Okay. All right. So here is what we do when you get your ebook is we colorize the lips with a realistic color that should flatter someone in that color type. Okay. And the same with the clothing. Now you wore a white shirt, so I mean, it's so easy for me to colorize your top. And so it becomes really apparent what's really working and what's really not. Yes. And I mean, you're very photogenic, so it's like someone could look at this and go, well, she looks good in everything, but I'm looking for the best. Yes. And I can see the soft, cool, and deep. It's not like you would look bad if you wore that color, but I don't see you light up in it, where I can see you brightening up very much on the right with the brighter colors. Yes. But you look how golden your skin looks against that cooler magenta pink. Yes. Yes. And I'm not loving that as much as I see you in the warm.
Wow.
It's right now. Everyone should know that she took the photos all at the same time, so it's not like the lighting changed or anything like that. And yeah, I mean, you can see that one photo might be a little brighter than the other, but that's not it. It's just so obvious to me. Like, even with the softer colors, it's not as vibrant, but you could totally wear these, because once you start to darken a color, it starts to soften it anyway. Yeah. So when you're talking about warm and deep colors, they kind of start to look similar. You can even see on the card. These are the color analysis cards we were referring to a little while ago. You can see the darker colors are really kind of the same. It's just the biggest difference is how bright you can go. Yeah. So like this palette on the left isn't bad, but like, you know, you could do more. And the brighter, even if you don't wear a bright red lip all the time, like it just looks right. It feels really, really good. And I love this color on you. Yes. And I've seen you in this color. Yes. It's just drop dead gorgeous. Oh my God, it's so good. It looks so good on you.
Thank you.
So let me show you, and then I'll stop sharing so you can ask questions. I'm sure you'll be like, what? So I found some colors in the color palette that I just think really you were just going to knock them dead with. So this is a nice, beautiful medium red. It's got a little bit of warmth to it. So it's not like a cool red with blue in it. It's like a little bit of an orangey red if you were to see it next to another red. Okay. It's probably like down here at the bottom of the card. Okay. And then this is like a winter green, which I think is really, really pretty. It's a cooler color, but I just think I just love it. Royal blue would look fantastic on you.
Yes.
nice, like a hunter green. Oh, gorgeous.
Yes.
And then I found a couple neutrals for you.
Yeah.
Be careful, by the way, because for someone who's bright, warm, and deep, and
Mhm.
even soft, warm, and deep, pastels, and you may already feel this, pastels can really, really wash you out.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
It's just because you have so much pigment and so much richness in your coloring that you need that color to balance you.
Mm.
It's just like you overpower the pastel, and it just doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
The only caveat I would say, or only thing I would say, is that if you wanted your neutrals, um, you can wear, this is supposed to be a cream. It's hard to communicate cream in
Yeah.
colorization, by the way, but you could do a cream. It would be a very lovely, quiet look on you. So gold jewelry, cream blouse,
Yeah.
be very quiet, just a lovely look if you want to do that.
Yeah.
The deep chocolate browns and burnt oranges, and then black and
Yeah.
dark navy, both would be amazing on you because you have such dark hair and dark eyes that it just goes. It's just a very slimming, more monochromatic look in a way, but really, really elegant.
Yes. Hey. Oh my gosh, this is great.
So, how do I, oh, okay, stop sharing. So what is your thoughts? Because I don't know if you expected that. And I think I'm trying to pull my memory at this point of what's in the guide for bright, warm, and deep. I'm pretty sure green as
Mhm.
well, like a brighter green. And
Yeah.
what it comes down to, any color is your power color if you feel powerful in it. It's
Yeah.
not that, oh, it's not in there, so it's not my power color, right? Because you even said like one of your colors you feel really good in is that goldenrod, which is not listed as a power color, but you,
Mhm.
if that makes you feel powerful, you should, and stand out. But
Yeah.
that, I think you would agree, the idea of a power color is that it gives other people a visual sense of authority,
Yes.
and not just authority, but like you know what you're doing.
Yes. Definitely.
It's like, so that's why people say, like, when you go into a job interview or you're presenting,
Yeah.
wear your power color, because people start to perceive you regardless
Mhm.
that you you're clearly the authority. Okay, so that's the person that's giving the presentation.
Yeah.
And you can even test that theory, especially if everyone in your office, let's say, is business casual,
Mhm.
right? And everyone's just wearing casual, no thought to their color, it's just what they're in. And if you walked in your power color because you're presenting, people will automatically assume that's the presenter.
Yes.
And
That's
it's just,
exactly.
it's a thing. And so it's really important for people to understand, like, your colors that you wear sometimes really project,
Yeah.
and hopefully in the way that you want to be projected,
Yeah.
right? Which
Yeah.
is why you want to sometimes pay attention. You don't have to do it all the time,
Definitely.
it's exhausting, but it's
Yeah.
fun to play with the
No.
moods.
This is
So
so fun, and especially from someone who enjoys colors, mixing prints. It's great to see that, the things that I just kind of had in my mind that worked for me that I thought, and then also
mhm.
some of the new things that you're saying. So I'm really happy about learning more about the colors that I thought about, may have not tried to use as much, but that I
Right.
should probably incorporate into my wardrobe. So I think that that's great. Thank you so much, Jen.
Oh, this was so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Is there anything that you would like to add about your color story that we have not told our viewers yet?
Hmm. Let's see. I wasn't expecting that that question. You know what? I think that to really just kind of be open to exploring and having fun with the process. A lot of people, like, sometimes get a little bit caught up in the science of it, and they get struggle between, well, am I soft or am I bright? And they get really, really caught up. And I think sometimes it's sort of like your intuition is really strong, and to trust it, and to be open to trying new things. And somebody will tell me that, well, you said that I can't wear black
Mm-hmm.
because it's not my color palette. And I will always respond. I will say, I will never tell you not to wear black. Black is amazing. I
Yeah,
love wearing black.
I
What
love
I don't want for you is
it.
to default to black
Mhm.
because you're afraid of, I'm afraid is a strong word, but there's a little fear there, right? A little shy of what people are
Yeah,
going to say if you wore something different.
yeah,
And so we default to these neutrals, And what I want is that if you're going to wear a neutral or a black or whatever, it's because it's purposeful for you, because that's what you're feeling that day and that's how you're going to dress, versus I don't know what to wear. I don't want to be different. So I'm just going to default to what I always wear. That's what I want people to break their habit of and to really try something new. So, get your colors done. It's
Yes.
really worth it.
This was so fun, and I truly enjoyed learning a little bit more about my colors and what you perceived would be some really good colors on me based on my picture and everything and my
Yeah.
analysis. I thought this was great. Can you tell our viewers where they can find you, and if they wanted to do a color analysis, how they could learn more about doing that?
Absolutely. So the main website is yourcolorstyle.com, and you can find it on all social media under @yourcolorstyle. So on Facebook and Instagram for sure. I go out there daily now on Facebook Live, and I also post to Instagram like little 5 to 10, 15 minutes at the most tips and stuff. So I'm always a chatter. And then the YouTube channel is at Jen Thoden. But if they just go to yourcolorstyle.com, they're going to see everything that they need to know. They'll see that they can order the style kit if they just want to do a DIY on themselves and not invest in the full service. And there's also a link that says for color analysis, where you can go there, get all the details, and then of course, they can order their service, and they'll also get those cards as well. So it's all there. So, and if you put your link also in this video, they can go straight there. It's a piece of cake.
Yes, and I'll make sure to put the link in my video, as well as link all of Jen's social media to the video as well. You're welcome. So guys, listen, you need to make sure to get your color. I know all of y'all always ask me, how do you pick the color? How do you pick the fabric? Guys, this is another way to do it, to learn what colors work for you. So then when you're picking your fabric, you'll know what's going to make not only yourself pop, but that outfit pop as well. So thank you all for watching. Jen, it's been fabulous, and I truly appreciate you.
Oh, I love it. Thanks, Monica. And do you agree?
So
it's okay if you don't, by the way. You will not hurt my feelings.
Oh no,
give it to me. Come on, tell me.
So I will say that you were right about this color, because I just made a blouse out of this color, and I have pants. And I put on the whole monochromatic look this weekend. Ooh. And I was just walking around, and I just loved it. I did brighten up. So when you say the gold tones and that I have the gold tone, that is right. I always tell people I have orange tones to my skin. Yes. So I don't do silver a lot. A lot of stuff I do is gold jewelry to highlight that. I will agree with the black. Black is very sleek and slimming, and it also is like my power color. Dark red. It took me some time to get into red lipstick, because the bright red was just too bright. Yeah. But there are certain reds that I can do in terms of clothing, so I agree with that. The brown, definitely the blue. I'm not a green fan. However, I can wear green, and that has to probably do with the sorority colors, because my sorority colors so not wearing a lot of green. But when I do wear green, it does highlight the skin. So the magentas and the magentas is the one. That was that first slide. You were saying that I should wear those a lot, or you weren't too sure. So
okay, so that is where we get to break the rules.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, in all seriousness, so you are very golden to me, and so therefore, like, it's really obvious when you put a cooler color against your skin. It's just gonna it's gonna look like, it's not gonna look bad. I never want to say that. It's just that it's gonna be obvious. It becomes really obvious that, oh, you have really warm undertones, and that's a top that's not really in alignment. But here's where I say you can break the rules. If you're going to break the rules and wear a color that's not in your color palette, you should still at least keep the color type. So for you, bright colors. If you went a cool mauvey, dusty pink, I might go, God, don't do that, Monica, please. Like, it's just not, that doesn't feel like you. But if you're going to say, okay, I get it. I accept. I'm bright, warm, and deep, and this is my colors. I'm going to own it and try some new things. Great. But if you still love, like, your top that you're wearing because it's fun, don't not wear it just because I said it's not in your color palette. Just
Yeah.
keep it bright. That's my rule of thumb, is that at least try to keep it in your range of bright and deep versus, or bright to deep, I should say, versus going completely off the other cliff. And it's like, you can, my rule, hey, wear whatever you want. And if you love that, whatever it is, and if you like it, you should totally wear it. There's a few things that I wear that are warm, but a little softer. They don't really do much for me, but I just like them. So I wear them anyway. I also wear black. Not really my best. Like, really, I tell people, like, if you're going to wear something that's really completely out of your color palette, one of the best things you could do if you are worried you're not going to look good is to make sure a lot more skin is showing.
Yes, that's very important.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100% on the mauve color. Though I love that color for furniture aesthetics. I've made a really pretty dress in that color. And when I put it on, I realized that I had to do something different with the makeup, darken my eyes, hair, and just show a little bit more skin, just so that the dress, I could tell the dress was highlighted versus me. Yeah. And I don't like my clothes to wear me. I like to wear my clothes. Yes. So I definitely understand that. And because I have another dress that I bought, and it was that mauve color, and it was a pretty dress. But when I wore it, the dress was just wearing me.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
And it's so interesting you said that about a soft color. A lot of times I'll use that description for someone who's softer and they wear a bold color, and the color it tends to wear them. But what you just said is so true. It's not necessarily about the intensity. It's about the difference between the person and the item that you're wearing. It's like, it's just, if you're so dominantly rich with color and bold and brightness, and you wear something that is so soft and grayish, the difference is what stands out. And not necessarily in a flattering way. It's sort of like, well, I don't want, it depends what you want. And
Jen, this is like interesting because, for instance, this top I just made.
Yes.
I wore it, but I paired it with the pants that are in this color. And also with this blouse, I paired it with the pants that are this color. So it was a sort of play on colors, but I still was bringing in this color, So it's interesting because I wouldn't wear this alone, or so I can definitely see that. And if I ever do magenta, now that I think about it, I'm layering it with either a dark black blazer, so then that just pops a little bit. But that's just interesting that you say that. What else did you say about so what about purples? Yeah,
you got purple. So here's your fan, by the way. Here's your bright, warm, and deep colors. And so you have purple. So let me see if you can see it on camera. If not, I can show the color wheel too. So so yeah, you've got these. Can you see that? So you've got these deep plums and purples. We even have imperial blue, which is like it's not really navy. It's more of just a brighter blue with some black in it. And so there's your purples. Let's see, I have deep royal purple and deep purple. Oh, and then, oh, not that. No, it's in this one here. So yeah, so you can see.
Yes.
And those people, it surprises people because they're like, oh, that's a cool color, which it is, but it's an even split between red and blue. Red being warm, blue is cool. And as long as you have a nice balance of those colors, purple looks really, really great.
Yeah.
With warm undertones, you can go as neutral purple as you can get to a reddish purple and still look really great. It's when it starts to go to blue purple that sometimes I'm like, now we're getting into that cool category that really looks better on someone that's got more cool undertones and bluer eyes and bluer in the skin maybe too, Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so interesting because like this blouse has purple in it, and I think that's what I chose the fabric for. I wasn't even in the orange, and you said purple and orange are my colors, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So I wasn't even looking at the magenta, and then these earrings I just like. But when I put them on, I was just like, Monica, you look really. There's like a lot going on here. You need to tone something down. But yeah, no, that is great. So I'm not okay. So you said yellow, or it was more mustardy, right?
You can do, so I don't like, yellow is in the warm side of the color wheel, but for someone that is bright, warm, and deep,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even medium, like bright, like canary yellow, I
No.
don't think it works.
Okay,
It
wow.
has to be a touch golden. So like, so you can see here, like here's like the golden yellows. Like this has a little bit of a touch of orange in it,
Yeah.
and the same with these marigold.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, and you can see as soon as you add black to yellow, it starts to look
Mm-hmm.
brown or green, which is really interesting. And so even with this, you're gonna not believe it, but I'm gonna show it to you. So, all right, see these olive greens?
Yes.
Okay, the color that's pure to this is pure yellow.
Wow.
But I took it out of this color fan because I just, from experience, think, yeah, it's just not working for me for someone in that color type. But you add a little black, it starts to turn it an olive green. And then I'm like, yeah, that works. That looks good. So yeah, all of your olive greens, so good on you.
Oh, wow. And I can do red, right?
Yes, yes. You can do red, you can do tomato red, deep rust. You can even go as like, I've got watermelon pink and all the way up to chili.
I like those. Yeah.
Those.
Okay, so it's bright. It fits my person. I honestly, Jen, this is great. I think you told me a little bit more because when you showed the deep yellows, the deep browns, and I saw the greens, with
Yes.
knowing that, I'm like, Monica, if you put green on, I don't really wear a lot of green, but
Yeah.
I think that I need to probably start just a little bit and start incorporating it because I think it definitely will look good on my skin.
Oh yeah. And
Amazing.
you have a huge range of greens. Like
Wow.
it's just very earthy in some cases
Yeah.
once it gets a little darker, but yeah, you can wear all that. And teal.
Oh, I love a teal. Oh, look, I
Oh
have
yeah.
else.
Gorgeous. Yeah. So yeah, you got a lot of teals here.
So I'm bright. Oh yes, so I'm bright.
You're
Bright. What did you say? Bright, warm.
bright, warm, and deep.
Bright, warm, and deep.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like me. Like my
It is
personality.
you. Yeah, it's like a personality too. It's like perfect. And people ask me all the time, like, oh, his personality has something to do with it. I'm like, not exactly. Like just I do feel though that the people that really own it, that have brights in their color palette,
Yes.
tend to have a lot of confidence.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean that they're necessarily a bright personality or a bold personality, but they tend to have a little more confidence they can go ahead and try it.
Yeah.
Where every once in a while though, I'll type someone that's got softer colors and they're disappointed because they're like, but I love wearing the brighter colors. And I always tell them, like, same thing as I just told you.
Yeah.
You can just think about like maybe how much you're wearing of it,
Yes.
right? So if I've typed you soft and cool and those cooler, dustier colors are going to look a little better on you, but you just love a brighter pink, well, you can still wear it.
Yeah.
You can still wear it. Just maybe not neon pink, like
Yes.
maybe not that bright.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, just add a little bit of white to it and lighten it up just a tiny bit, and you can wear the brighter colors, and so it's going to be okay. No fashion police is going to hunt you down.
Oh, listen. There's some out there, but no, they're not.
I don't think any of us are famous enough for people to really care that much. People, it's so funny though. They get on a call with me like we're doing now, or they meet me in person, and they get really self-conscious really fast. They're like, "Oh no, I forgot. Like, am I wearing the right color?" I'm like, "You're fine." Like, I'm really not judging you. I swear.
Oh my goodness.
So
This
cute.
is great. So do you talk to people about how to pair colors at all? For instance, like what colors work well together, or what they probably could possibly stay away from?
So it's not part of the analysis. The analysis is about getting your color palette and that kind of stuff. But there is, once you know your color type, there's a color guide shows you how to, it kind of gives you your full color palette that matches your fan. It's a digital palette though. And it's a digital guide. And it breaks apart your color palette, not only in giving you ideas on how to wear the colors together, but also what colors to wear when. So for example, which colors are your more serious colors? Which ones are your casual colors? Which ones are the ones that are more business? And it matters because if you ever wore an outfit that say, let's say you had a suit, okay? and but it's in a really casual khaki color.
Yes.
You've taken that, what seems to be a business like piece of clothing, and you've given it a color that has completely made it casual.
Yeah.
And so, and if you ever wonder why something doesn't feel right, or it doesn't, like, I don't know, it doesn't, it's because the color doesn't match the mood. So if
Yeah.
you were wearing that suit to be more business, you're not feeling it, it's because you probably needed to have something maybe a little darker, you know, something like that, right? Like, and so it breaks it down like that. It also gives you like colors that are more your healing colors, your like your healing energy kind of colors, your blushing colors are in there, like which ones out of your palette are considered your blushing colors and how to wear those, how
Yeah.
to combine all those things. Your power colors are in there.
Wow.
And what
Oh,
I'm
I
looking, yeah, so that's the guide. Mhm.
okay. I can't wait to finish and look at the guide to see like what my power color is.
Yeah.
I assume I have a certain power color, and I tell people that when I wear this color, it's business, or it's the day that I'm about to quit my job. So when they see me in that color, I'm not going to say what it is because I
You're
don't
not
want
gonna
to
say it? Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
mean, I could, we're Instagram family and everything. But I'll just tell you a quick story. I
Yeah.
wore it head to toe a few weeks ago to work, and I just felt like wearing it. So everyone kept coming to me saying, Monica, do you have something to tell us? I'm like, what are you talking about? You're wearing red from head to toe. And I'm like, I am. I just felt like putting it on today because I was just trying, because that's my power color, and it was about getting business done, right?
Yeah.
So everyone kept saying, "Are you leaving today?" I was like, "No,"
Oh,
because
that is
yeah,
hilarious.
'cause I made a joke. I said, "The day I wear my red from head to toe, I am walking out of here," So I was just,
Yeah, red is a power color for everyone.
yeah,
And I think from a psychological perspective and also just a cultural perspective, it is something that, like, when I went on Good Morning Washington, it's February
yeah.
now, maybe it was March. It was right before the pandemic
Mm-hmm,
hit and everything canceled. But I wore a red jumpsuit,
mm-hmm.
and man, it's like, it is bold, and I felt so good. And it's kind of like sometimes like what you need,
Yes.
to get out in there on TV live.
Yes.
So yeah, but so that's definitely one for sure. Everyone probably would guess that.
Yeah.
And your purple is
Mm-hmm.
another one that's a
Yes.
power color.